Welcome back to the Tapes Archive podcast, where we release interviews that have never been heard before. In this episode, we're celebrating the 80th birthday of Ringo Starr by playing Marc's interview with the Beatles drummer from 1992. At the time of the interview, Ringo was 52 and was on tour with his All-Starr Band. Back in those days, Ringo would only do 5-minute interviews, so this conversation is much shorter than normal. So let's skip our normal preamble and get right to the interview.
Marc? Yes, hi. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's much better. Sorry about that, but it was just so quiet.
Yeah, no problem. Since we only have 5 minutes, I'll jump right into it with two obligatory Beatles questions.
Okay.
When you played the State Fairgrounds here in '64, the group's contract requested a case of Coca-Cola, a supply of clean towels, chairs, and, if possible, a portable TV set, which seems hilariously quaint now, but was this the innocence of the times? Was it because...
I think... I suppose they thought we were spoiled brats asking for all of that.
Yeah, I wondered if, if this was just uncharted territory for bands, or maybe...
I don't think, the riders they have today, I don't think you had those options. I think they just gave it to us because we were the big boys.
I wondered if you also didn't, it was maybe because you asked for so little because you didn't take the Rockstar trip so seriously.
Well, I don't think we did take it that big, but, we didn't need much.
Compared to your riders today, do you ask for a lot?
Well, I ask for different things, and it's certainly bigger than those requests.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what they are. You'll have to make it to backstage to see what happens. You'll see the elephants and the tigers.
Okay. Just before he died, John Lennon said about you, whatever that spark is in Ringo, there's something in him that would have surfaced with or without the Beatles. Do you think he was right?
Sure.
Yeah, what is it?
Sure, I was living before the Beatles, and I'm living after,
Yeah, no question about it.
So you're absolutely right.
Okay, but did you know it even then?
Yeah.
How can you know?
I was working and playing before I joined them. I was in the top bands in Liverpool anyway.
Right.
I had my own following then. I was fulfilling my dream, and then they came along, and then it turned into a fantasy.
Do you think it's been tougher for you as a solo artist because you have a reputation for being a kind of light-hearted guy?
I don't think so, really. If we look at the record from after the split up. I was the biggest selling artist there for a couple of years.
Is this tour fairly similar to the last one in that everybody will play a couple of his own songs?
Yeah, exactly the same format. Everyone will do their own numbers, which I'll support as, playing the drums or tambourine or whatever. And, then I'll come down the front and do some numbers. I'll do some from the kit. It's the same format. If you saw the 89 tour, you'll know what to expect.
Your new album seems to be fairly confessional. Is this an attempt to put both the good times and the indiscretions behind you and move on?
Well, I think it's to actually get away from the past.
You would expect that most people, if they were in your position, would want to live in the past.
Well, that's up to them. I think I've lived in it long enough. It's time to move on,
Was there
we'll never shake it all off.
That's
But we have to just keep moving on.
Was there an incident or something that happened in your life that made you decide that it was time to move on?
I think sobering up.
Is this also the time to move on? Is that also why the time was right to make a record after 9 years?
Sure.
There's a line on the new album that goes, "Telling lies won't get you far. I learned that in my youth." A line that I realize you don't get songwriting credit on, so you probably didn't write that. But
no, that was Jellyfish.
So,
but I did write "Forget About My Rings and Things" in the same song. Right. They add your rings and things. We just changed that to make it personal. Right. So I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I was going to say, since you didn't write that, tell me 3 or 4 things maybe that you've learned over the years that have made a difference in your everyday life.
Honesty is the best policy.
What else?
You either live in love or in fear.
And?
I think that's heavy enough.
Honesty is the best policy seems kind of a bizarre thing. I would expect that you'd be a fairly honest guy. And,
well, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
But you find yourself being devious, and you always have to pay for it,
One line that you most likely wrote is, "Traveling the world in a rock and roll band, it's in my blood."
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it is. That from when I was 13, all I wanted to do was play drums in a rock and roll band. And I'm still doing it, you know. It's in my blood. I love to be up there playing the drums and entertaining people, you know. I think it's in my blood because the people I started with, you know, in the very early days in Liverpool, out of like 10 good friends we started as musicians playing, I'm the only one still doing it, you know. They sort of gave up after a year or two or three. It wasn't in their blood. It wasn't the excitement I get from it.
Do you ever see them anymore?
Sure.
And what do they think? I mean, do they wish...
Well, they're doing what they're doing, you know. One's a joiner, another one's an engineer, another one's this, you know. Another one's out of work. Yeah. That's what happened.
Critics often compare bands with the Beatles. Have you ever heard any group that you thought compared favorably to the Beatles?
No.
Okay.
I think it's the worst thing that can happen to a band, you know. Once they're called the new Beatles, they're dead.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that.
They should just be themselves, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of managers and press guys, you know, think this will help. And it really is bad news for any band.
Okay. You got any surprises in store for people when they come out to the show?
I think the biggest surprise is we're still standing.
Okay, two other things, I'll let you go. Anything else that you want to tell people?
No, time takes time. Way to the world. And if you come to the show, we're going to have fun.
Okay, and finally, a question for another story I'm working on. Are you still married?
Yeah, 11 years.
11 years. What kind of music did you have played at your wedding?
We had, well, the music we had played at the wedding was rather strange because we had Paul McCartney, Harry Nilsson, and a lot of people like George Harrison playing along. So they were just playing anything they wanted.
All right, well, I know we're under time constraints, so I appreciate your time, and I'll see you when you're here.
Thanks for calling back.
Okay, take care.
All right, take care. Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Tapes Archive podcast. Please remember you can always find more information about the show and the individual episodes at our website, thetapesarchive.com. Until next time, the vault is closed.